Hello everyone, I'm Anuradha Sant, your host for today. Welcome to this webinar hosted by the Coaches for You community, which is formed by volunteers of the ICF India coaching community. This webinar will be for 30 minutes, followed by a 15 minutes of Q&A session. During the webinar, you're free to write in your questions and comments in the chat box. You are requested to put your mics on mute and be off camera during the entire session to prevent any bandwidth issues and also any disturbance to the presenter. We will request you to fill out a brief feedback form at the end of the webinar, as it is super important for us to collect your feedback to better our services going forward. The topic for today's presentation is Leverage Disruption, Transform Your Career. And to navigate us through this is our experienced coach, Vasudev Nagaraj, who's based out of Bangalore. Vasudev Nagaraj is a professional certified coach. He draws from his experience on how to shape one's career from the 30 plus years of industry experience in IT and ITAS, working in organizations like Dynavision, PSI Data Systems, Storage Tech, Sun Microsystems, and IBM. He conducts programs and coaches students for employability, mid-career professions to find their goals and shift careers. We are all facing some kind of disruption in the current COVID times. Let's see what perspective Vasu shares with us today on leveraging this disruption for ourselves. So now I invite Vasu to take over from here and help us explore this further. So over to you, Vasu.
Thank you, Anuradha. I would like to start with a presentation and go back a little in history. So we see that people who were workforce. So a lot of people moved from villages, agriculture into industries. Right? Now in Industry 2.0, we started getting people, but they were skilled. So you would have learned in some context, we need turners, we need fitters, we need that, we need this. So they were skilled workers who could man an electric generated machine, right? In Industry 3.0, we got people who had logic, because we wanted people to get the computer to interface with machines. And then now in Industry 4.0, we have a very different kind of requirement that is coming in, which is, any guesses? Any guesses? What do we expect in the Industry 4.0 now? Any guesses? Knowledge of IT, yes. High EQ, fabulous.
Digitization,
robots, fabulous, fabulous.
AI could be?
AI is there written, AI. But what does AI require? What does AI require? So this is what is required. We need skills. We need skills where people have skills with complex problem solving, creativity, judgment, decision making, critical thinking, people management, emotional intelligence, cognitive flexibility, all of these. Now I have a question for all you people. Where do you learn this? Where do you learn creativity? Do you go to school? Where do you learn critical thinking? Does our educational institution cater to this creative thinking? Emotional intelligence. Who provides programs on emotional intelligence if somebody was to become emotionally intelligent. So what is happening here is there is therefore a wide divide between the industry and the institution. Institution is unfortunately not able to give these requirements to the industry, and that's bringing a huge divide. Do you agree? Say agree if you agree on the chat box. I want to see how many. Yes. Yes. I have quite a few. Yes. Go ahead. If you agree, just type agree or yes. Nikhil says yes. Kaloni says yes. Preeti says yes. Vicky says affirmative. Fabulous. So all of you agree, right? So let's see what we can do about it. So today's program is about looking at this. And for that, I'm going to invite you to look at my mind map here. Okay? So what's the problem? Can I say career? Can I say skills? What can I say here? So I'll say career. So I see a lot of people in HR background. So how do you look at a career for a person? What are the different constituents that make a career for a person? Have you heard of this word called competence? Have you heard of this word called competence? Rajesh, somebody's on the room waiting. Can you admit? So what is competence? What according to you is competence?
Paresh said capability.
Capability, how, what? Capability for what?
Prerequisite for the job, skills to do the job.
Yes,
The
fabulous.
skills of how you achieve.
Fabulous, fabulous. So I'm finding it difficult to put something here. What happened? So fabulous. Then what else? So this is a common thing that all the HR people use. This is called as ask. Attitude, skills, and knowledge. Three of these form competencies. So let's take each of them. So what's knowledge? Ability to do something. That's knowledge, right? So let's take an example of crossing a road. Do you know to cross a road? The question is yes. Answer is yes, right? So how do you cross a road? You first look to your right and then look to your left and then make sure there are no vehicles and then you cross the road. Is that knowledge? Type on the chat yes, no, don't agree, whatever. No. Okay. So why is it a no? Isn't that a knowledge? So similarly, we have, let's say, Java in a computer. So we have a few civil engineers here, right? So what would be your knowledge? Structural engineering? Is that a knowledge for you? I see a couple of civil engineers. AI, is that a knowledge? Automation, is that a knowledge? What else is knowledge? End-to-end stack of a computer programming, is that a knowledge? So these are various things that are knowledge, just like how crossing the road, these are just knowledge. But let me give you a scenario. Let me say that you now have to cross a very busy highway. A very busy highway if you have to cross. So is just knowledge sufficient? That's where skills comes in. What is skill? Skill is nothing but knowledge that has been implemented. What happens when you implement knowledge? There is a saying that goes like, practice makes a man perfect. Have you heard of this? Murli, I didn't understand what you said. We have to move forward and bring about a change, inculcate knowledge, using subways, doing things differently. Fabulous. Yes, that's exactly what we are talking. So now I am giving you an example of crossing the road. So now let us bring all of that knowledge that we have put under skills. So if you know Java, is it good enough for you to be an employee? Is that good enough? If you know structural engineering, is it good enough? If you know automation, is it good enough? Now that's where these skills that are for Industry 4.0 comes. You have to have additional skills that are what life has to be, you have to test it in your life. You have to do things to convert knowledge into skills. Iceberg model, fabulous. I didn't want to go into so much of technicality about psychology, but it is an iceberg model. So what happens here is knowledge is there that is given by an institution. You do a course, you do a curriculum, you get knowledge. But the skill comes when you implement that knowledge, and that is very important for you to monetize. Make sense? So we did skills, we did knowledge. What about attitude? What do you have to say about attitude? Can you tell me what's attitude? Can somebody define attitude? Settled way of thinking, feeling? Yes. What's the first thing that comes? Mindset. Very good. Anuradha, thank you. Attitude is the way we carry our knowledge and skills. Fabulous. And how would you do that? The first thing that is necessary is to have an identity for yourself. What is your identity? Who are you? So let me give you an example. My father retired. When my father retired, he came back home, a visitor came home, and he asked my father, so Mr. Nagraj, what do you do? His voice became very small and he said, I am retired. So what is that attitude change that happened from somebody who is employed, has a designation, comes back home after his voluntary retirement? Why does his voice become small? Why does his back crouch? Why does he feel small about himself? Think about it. Loses his identity. Absolutely. Conversely, if you know knowledge, if you have the skill, and if you become confident, what happens to you? you gain an identity, right? You become powerful. So now, one of the most important thing for that is something called as, how do you define this? Passion. What's passion for you? What moves me on? Fabulous, Kallolini. Fabulous. Anybody else? What's passion for you? So I remember my childhood, right? I was a hobbyist electronics guy. So I used to develop small projects that I would sell, monetize, and make my pocket money. When I get a project, I remember I would not sleep for 3, 4 days. No food, no sleep. 3, 4 days till my project saw the end of the light. So what's passion? Yes, it is intrapsychic. Fabulous, Vicky. It's intrapsychic. It truly is our attitude that determines our altitude. Absolutely. So what's the passion? The passion is that life force that you have, which will break anything that comes as an obstacle for you. So let me take this example, right? All of us go for marriages, and more so women, right? You have all decked up and you have, you're going out for a marriage, and your car has a tire flat. What happens to you? And let's say in your mind, you are saying that, oh my God, I am seeing a friend whom I have not seen for last 25 years. So there is hope. There is looking forward to. So what happens in a situation like that? You will wave an auto, you will hitchhike, you will do whatever to go and attend the wedding. Am I right? Ladies, say yes or no. Yes, lot of yes. Vicky is also saying yes. Sure, Vicky. 100% Vicky says. Absolutely. So let me flip the situation. You are going and you don't like that one relative who always taunts you, looks at your jewelry and kind of says, what is this? You know, so you are sure you're going to meet her. How will your energy be? Everything same. Everything being same. You're going to the wedding, you have got prepared, tire flat. In your head now, you now imagine a lady who is going to be very nasty with you. Preeti says, "Lo, Kunnas." Yes, avoid him. And he says, okay, doesn't matter. Find a puncher guy, let him come, even if it takes half an hour. Fabulous, no problem. So you try to avoid the party. What has changed here? Anything changed? It's just the mind that has changed. Right? Everything being same, what has changed? It's just what your mind foresees has changed. So in this situation, I want you to now look at this disruption that has come and say, how do you foresee yourself, let's say, a year down the line? Do you want to see yourself as that lady or a guy trying to, wait out things on the road, waiting for a puncher guy to come? Or would you be that maverick who will just wave a taxi, auto, hitchhike, whatever, and go to your destination because you're looking forward to meeting that friend of yours who is like 25 years you have not met? What will you do in this situation? That is what is the mindset. So how easy or difficult is it for you to switch? Make sense? So I want to bring one more. Now this comes from my deep understanding of subconscious mind. And this is called your ethos. What's your ethos? What is your upbringing? What is your conditioning? This will determine whether you will look at things with a positive intent or you will look at it pessimistically. And this ethos is formed between 0 and 8 years, basically on social, economic, education, and religious background. These four things determine what's your ethos, what's your conditioning, how will you look at things, how will you therefore take on things and create an identity which eventually will make your attitude. This therefore cannot be taught in schools, colleges, institutions, nowhere. And I admire the coaching profession because this is where a coach can help. He can bring the best out of you as far as our attitude is concerned. Make sense? You agree? So I think I'm doing a lot of bhashan. Huh? So I want you guys to do one thing, right? I want you to Google on any of your device, open Google. I want you to see how does the world look at you? How does the world look at you? All of us agree that LinkedIn is by far a professional network, right? We do professional things. We get connected with people at a professional level. So there are organizations who are scouting for their staff on LinkedIn. You need to be also available on LinkedIn so that you can get your opportunities. Do you all agree with me that LinkedIn is a good platform for social networking or for professional networking? So just do a Google and search SSI LinkedIn, and this is what you will get. And I'll show you what I got for myself. And I want you to see what you get for yourself. You get a dashboard like this. Paresh is lifted his hand for some time. Paresh, do you have a question that is urgent to be addressed? Can you type on the chat box? No. Okay. So just put your hand down, Paresh. It'll help. So what is that you got? Can you please share on your screen? What's your rank among your industry peers? So the thing goes like this, right? The low 60% are people who are trying to find their way. Oh, Kalonini is not active on LinkedIn. Kalonini, if you want a good career, I think you should have a LinkedIn account.
Vasu, can you navigate through us? So how do you get your score?
Open Google
Yeah.
search and
SSI
say
LinkedIn.
and say SSI space LinkedIn.
Correct. I've got that.
Vicky, just open Google and in the search bar type SSI space LinkedIn.
Yeah, then brings you to a page called business.linkedin.com.
Correct. You click there and you give your LinkedIn credentials.
It's asking for, do you want a free demo?
Yeah, do a free demo. Yes, this is a free demo.
Okay.
Raghunath, 63 out of 100. Yeah, is a good score. But what is important, Raghunath, is you should see how does your industry SSI rank, because that is what is a true indication of where you stand amongst your competition. Top 48% seems low. Yeah, I think so. I think so. So now on the screen, there are these four things. It tells you where should you invest your time and energy. Is your professional brand well established? So for me, my networking is super. Yeah, top 23% network. Yes. So now you look at this and see where should you invest your time now. Top 7% is damn good, Rajesh. Damn good. But you still can look at what are the areas that you can look at. So the four parts tell you what makes you, what are the right things to do. Establish a brand for yourself, connect with the right people, engage with insights, and build relationship. These are the four things LinkedIn says are important for you to be in the bracket, which is called the top employable. Make sense? So guys, what do you take away from this conversation? What does 58 out of 100 means? That's your score. That's your average score. But what you need to look at is the top SSI rank, industry SSI rank, and network SSI rank, because each industry has got a different understanding. Preeti, is this the only way? I think it's a very reasonable way. I will tell you another way that I did sometimes before I got to know this. So every 3 years in my career, I was floating my resume. I was going and finding interview. I would talk to people, find myself a job, and I would even negotiate a salary just to see what's my employability rate. What is my package that I will get? Every 3 years I used to do that. Networking 25. Is this a score? Yeah. 25%. 25%. See, I am not here to tell you whether this is good or wrong, right? But you look at your industry peers. This is what tells you how your industry is behaving. I come from ITES, and my classification LinkedIn does is that I am a managing consultant. So among the managing consultants, this is my rank. So what are you in your field? Where are you with respect to your competition? That's what is important. Okay. So so there are other things that are very important for you for a career standpoint. You know, I remember Jack Ma. All of you know Jack Ma, I suppose, right? So Jack Ma in one of his talk said, till 20, be an awesome student. Do nothing but focus on your education. From 20 to 30, find yourself a job, find yourself a manager who will allow you to fail. You learn. 20 to 30 is the skill building phase. 30 to 40, make wealth. Put your skills into place which generates wealth for you. Do not neglect wealth making. 40 to 50, become the manager and allow people to fail under you. Become the nurturer. And at 50, go to a beach, enjoy the sunlight. Isn't that a good method? I wish at 50 I could do that. But Jack Ma didn't come and tell me this before. So I slogged my career. Make sense?
Yeah, Vasu, a quick time check. It's
Yes.
about 4:43.
Yes. So I am done and I'm open to questions.
So as you're thinking of questions for Vasu, I'd like to say that we also have our website, which is www.coachesforyou.in, and you could log in there, register for all our other future events as well. Our next webinar is going to be on the 19th of May, and the time will be 5 p.m. It's not 4 p.m., it's 5 p.m. And we talk about developing learning agility.
Vicky, I hear your question. Would you want to come on the mic and talk about this?
Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly, Vicky.
Okay, great. So what I'm getting now, based on the conversations with different clients, is that there is already a move to trim the fat, so to say.
Yes.
So, as you rightly pointed out, it's about the competence. And most of these organizations have a very robust competency framework.
Correct.
So roles are going to merge. To give you an example of a global major with whom we have been working. So they have put a design guy who had that extra thing to get into production.
Right.
So they have merged these two, and this is something I'm observing, So more than education, more than anything, this is what is going to be the need of the hour.
So what's happening is today, a lot of organizations are aggressively looking at their people and doing an assessment of their competencies. And the reason that they're doing is to come up with a grand plan of who they want to keep and who they want to let. So I take this opportunity, Anu, to thank everybody who came. And this was too short a time. So I just could do a sneak preview of what this thing is. Yes. But I guess you get the intent, right? So this is like, we need to go back to our drawing board now. The situation has brought us to that. And therefore, it's best to plan, it's best to evaluate self and to see what next comes up.
Right. Thank you, Vasu. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We look forward to having you again with us on the 19th of May for the next webinar, which is at 5 p.m. on 19th. So with that, thank you so much. Bye-bye.